In this episode, we're exploring why slow and steady approach may be the key to long-term success and fulfillment in the business world. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the pressure to grow quickly or questioned whether breakneck expansion is right for your venture, then this discussion is for you. Throughout this episode, we'll dive into the numerous benefits of measured growth, from building a solid foundation and maintaining quality control to fostering genuine customer relationships and achieving work-life balance. We'll hear from a successful entrepreneur who's chosen the path of gradual expansion and learn about the strategies that he's employed to create a resilient business, a profitable business without sacrificing his values or burning out. By the end of our conversation, you'll have a fresh perspective on business growth and practical insights to help you cultivate a sustainable success at your own pace. Today, we welcome into the studio Joe Nugent. Joe is the owner of Joe the Home Pro, which is an award-winning, fully licensed, bonded, and insured home inspection company. And he originally moved to the Southwest Florida in 2011. And for more than 15 years, he has dedicated his professional life to helping others through his career in the hospitality industry. The idea to launch Joe the Home Pro was Joe's response to stories that he heard about people being taken advantage of, and he saw an opportunity to bring a more professional and trustworthy and customer-focused home service business here to Southwest Florida. Welcome, Joe.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Good to be back.
Tongue-tied there for a minute. There's lots to say about you.
Well, I have a lot of people I pay a lot of money to say good things about me. So.
Wow. Well, you have had an impressive business, or you have an impressive business, and I've watched it grow. And you have taken, in my opinion, slow and steady growth, that growth model. I want you to share with our listeners your experience with growing your business in that manner. Why did you choose to not just grow as fast as you could, as quickly as you could, or I should say as big as you could, as fast as you could? Why did you choose that approach? What was it that motivated about that process with you?
Because I'm a scaredy cat.
I call it Nervous Nelly. That's my nickname, Nervous
I was
Nelly
like
of Naples.
scared of success. I mean, I look back on my hospitality career, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was at that hotel as director of sales and marketing for almost 8 years. And when COVID happened, that's when I made the full-time switch into my home inspection company, which thank God I've been building for 5 years.
You were building that for 5 years before you quit.
Well,
so
I got furloughed.
Moonlighting.
And I was like, thank God, because I was getting ready to put in my notice anyways. And I got to tell you, it's like anyone that has a full-time job that's building a side hustle. They never know when to make that jump. I just talked to a home inspector this morning about this exact topic, which is so funny. And I said, I wish I would have done it 5 years previously. Because if you think about it, how much could you build your business if you're working 50 to 60 hours on it, as opposed to me making some old guys rich?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I did.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so dumb. So then when I jumped and I was like, oh my God, why did I not do this earlier? It was absolutely a mindset shift, because when I first started this business, I was like, okay, I make $115,000 at the hotel. If I could make like 150 doing my own thing, man, that would be really cool. And then like 6 months into it, I'm like, that's stupid. I don't want to be doing home inspections. Like I want to grow and scale this thing, and I want to make millions and bring in millions and really live like a life. Like I'm not a solopreneur. That's what I found out also pretty quickly on. So for me, the mindset of getting over that hurdle of saying, oh, it just needs to be me, I want to be a solopreneur. The mindset of going, I just need this, whatever this is, and that's going to, kind of like make me happy. Those were all just little things. So the slow and steady thing was not, it was by choice, but then I'm like, oh, this is a really bad idea, right? And so that's one of the things I've had challenges with.
So I want to go back to, you worked for a company for 5 years while growing your business.
Yeah.
What was going through your head at that point? Why you didn't make that leap earlier? You said you were scared. So I know I've talked about fear before. And was that all part of it? Like, what were you scared of?
I think it was the financial, right? Like I coming off a divorce, I got my kids were really little, and I'm like, oh man, I can't like jump into this now. Like what kind of,
Sure.
how do you get things going? And so I just think like I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
And luckily, I belong to a mentor organization, the Accelerators organization that I've talked about on the show in the past. And thank God I had Sean, Thomas, and the other mentors there to help me and get me out of this. And I'll never forget the day I was in Nashville at Sean's place in Franklin. And I said to a group of people on the patio, and I said, I think it's time for me to do this full time. I'm going to put in my notes. They're like, oh, thank God. It's about time. Jesus, we've been waiting 4 years to hear you say that, right? So it was just because I had the right people in my corner.
Sure. I've talked about this before, how we can't see, I shouldn't say we can't see it. Everybody else around you can see the obvious, that you were meant to take a certain path or you were meant to step into something. But we, being the people in it, right? Yeah. We don't see it, or we choose to ignore it because somebody else or something else is holding us back.
Yeah.
Right. And for you, it was that fear that.
Yeah. Like, how do I do this? Right. Like, how does this work? Like, this is crazy. And everyone else told me I was crazy. They're like, why are you building this company? Like, you make really good money and good benefits. And I was like, well, you don't know, this job may not be here forever. Cue COVID. Right. And that job went away.
Right.
So I think, that was a big hurdle for me to clear. But I also think like the one part of your question that was really good is, why did I want to take slow and steady? So one of the things that I realized, and this is part of like what you said, like in your bio about me, is seeing that there's a hole in the market, seeing that there's a need, like people are getting taken advantage of, whatever. And so for me, I don't understand in Southwest Florida how people build and scale service-based companies and then they forget the service aspect.
Right.
And so this is like my number one thing, because everyone that told me was like, oh, don't get too big, you're going to lose your service. And I was like, I could rattle off 6 companies right now that did that. I'm not going to be one of them. So I was then determined to grow, build, and scale a service-based company with keeping our number one company pillar, relentless service, at the top of everything we do. And knock on wood, we've been able to accomplish that so far.
So I'm glad you brought that up. How do you do that? I know that's not really the precipice of our conversation today, but it does go, it ties it all in with your business. And I know my listeners are going to wonder, how did he keep that at the top of his list with his company when other people are like, you can't scale your business and make everybody happy, is essentially what they were telling you.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
It's all through the right.
How are you doing it?
It's all through the right people, right? So it's amazing when you're out there networking with people and you talk to people about your company and you just, they ask questions and you're kind of like, you're fired up.
Right.
You're giving them really strong stuff because you love your little passion project, like I call it. And it's incredible how many people will be looking out for you going, hey, I know somebody. I think they would be a really good fit for you. Like right now, I have the exact opposite of what everyone else in Southwest Florida has. I have 7 people right now that are banging down my door to come work for my company. I don't have enough business. It's the reverse for every single other company I know down here.
Wow.
They have too much business and not enough people. And so I have the exact opposite, which I'm very thankful for. Right. And I say that very, very like respectfully to everyone. So for me, it's about putting myself out there and finding the right people. And I'm not going to put the warm body out there. I can't tell you. I have a laundry list of people that have come to me and said, oh, I want to work for you. And I was hiring and I was like, oh, thanks, but we're all set, because they're not the right people. And so you build and scale and grow in I don't care if you're in Southwest Florida or if you're in Cleveland, Ohio, or Seattle, Washington, by putting the right people in place, giving them the right tools to do the right job, and let them go and do their thing. But I think our company pillars are absolutely what grounds us. And it's like, if you don't buy into these 4 company pillars, you're not going to be a long-term fit.
What are your 4 company pillars now?
Oh, it's very interesting you asked that question. Oh,
wow.
Let me look at my cheat sheet.
Yeah,
that was good.
Here's the baseball. Throw me a pitch.
I need all the help I can get. So relentless service is number 1 for us. Unwavering ethics and morals is number 2. Number 3 is intentional communication. And number 4 is community centric. And all of those play a part in who I am and in our community and the people that we try to have. So like on day 1, when we bring on a new team member, here's the 4 company pillars. Here's the explanation on each of them. Now sign here. Because if something happens down the road and they're not adhering to one of those, I'm going to be like, wait, remember when you came on board, you signed this. Right. This is what this is all about.
Intentional communications. What is that?
So for us, because we're in a technical service-based business and it can get really convoluted and you can use some really big words,
Right.
we talk to people as if you and I are having this conversation.
Mhm.
So on a home inspection, there could be a lot of crazy terminology that someone throws out. So we talk to people as if like they are like in kindergarten, not because they're
Sure,
dumb, but
right.
because we want to make sure they understand.
Mhm.
And so for us, it's all about communication during and after an inspection of making sure they understand what the report says. But it also speaks to before that. And it's like my team knows that if there's someone that emails us, calls us, or texts us, and we don't get back to them within a matter of minutes,
Mhm.
I'm going to lose it. So it's like like if someone needs something, we drop whatever we're doing, especially if we're having an internal conversation, and that takes precedence.
Mhm.
And it's a matter of clearly stating to them, here's what your expectations are on the inspection. Here's what's going to happen. Here's how we walk you through it. And so intentional communication for us is just being crystal clear on every single thing we're doing, because look at the good service-based companies in Southwest Florida. They show up on time, they do a good job, they say what they're going to do, and they charge a fair price.
Mhm.
It's a very simple formula on how to become a multimillionaire in Southwest Florida, right?
Right.
Which I still have not am, but one of these days.
You're
It's-
working on it. Slow
The formula
and
is
steady,
there.
Joe.
The formula is there. I got to tell you. So that's what intentional communication is, though, to us.
So that all of that kind of parlays into the advantages, right? Of
Yeah.
doing this slow and steady growth, because you can put more time and attention into making sure that you have that your team that you have is the right team,
Mm-hmm.
and they're following those core values, or you call them pillars of your company.
Correct. Right. And, it's interesting is as we're talking about this, I'm just thinking about the slow and steady, right?
Mhm.
Because we're in the process of moving into the Venice, Sarasota, St. Pete, Tampa market.
Mhm.
And so we're finding people there. I just had a week ago, 2 people reach out to me about Orlando. So we're going to start to maybe move over there. And so Joe, as in Joe the Home Pro, I want to own kind of like Orlando and like
Mhm.
to like the Southwest. Our licensing division has finally taken off, and we brought on our first licensee in Lynchburg,
wow.
Virginia. And again, you want to talk about slow and steady.
Mhm.
I have turned down 9 people for our licensing division. I'm talking, we're talking a lot of money that I could have been bringing in that I said no to because they weren't the right fit. They weren't going to be successful. They weren't the right fit, didn't have the right qualities,
Mhm.
whatever it might be. And so for us, we're going to, as we go across the country and as we license and as we talk to potential home inspectors, we want the right people because it's
Mhm.
our job to make sure they're successful.
Right.
It does me no good to put a Joe the Home Pro in Denver, Colorado, and for that individual to flame out in
Mhm.
8 months.
Right.
It looks bad on us.
Mhm.
It's bad on them. They're going to lose a bunch of money. I don't want to go to court for
Right.
all breaking the contract. Like, no, it has to be right. And so I think for me, slow and steady means doing it the right way. Now, I will also contradict myself in the sense of I am also guilty of being too slow and not making
Oh.
decisions fast enough.
Like just indecisive?
Analysis paralysis. It's like, it's like if I wasn't dating Melissa, I'd be dating analysis paralysis because we are really good friends.
My grandpa would call that tire kicking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like quit kicking the tires. Let's
Yep.
make a decision and move on.
Exactly like our customers, right? How
Mhm.
many customers does
Oh
someone
my
have?
gosh.
And
right.
they're like kicking the tires because they're asking
Mhm.
1,000
Yep.
questions and takes, 3 months to bring that sale to a close and all that.
Mhm.
We don't have that luxury in my industry, but yeah, I mean, so the analysis paralysis thing for me, it's been something I've been working on a lot. And you think about it, it started really 9 years ago when I started the company, 10 years ago now.
Mhm.
And it took me 5 years to go full time. And then
Right.
it took me almost another year to bring on my first inspector. And then it took a year later to bring on another inspector and an office person and marketing. And then it took another 2 years to go nationwide. And it's
Mhm.
taken us 8 months to bring on that first licensee and to find the right person. And so there is a methodical way about it, but sometimes I'm like, oh, we need to speed this up. And that's exactly what I've done with my team now.
Right.
Because now I added on some different components of my team. We're trying new things.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, we have everything in place, right?
Mhm.
Like that MVP, that minimal viable product.
Right.
We have had the MVP in place. It's not going to be perfect, but it's in place
Right.
for what we need, and we can tweak and change as we go. Let's just go. Let's start.
So analysis paralysis, what
Yeah.
have you done to help you step through that and step past it a little bit quicker
Yeah.
than you would have previously?
That's a phenomenal question, because I think it all comes down to what are our past experiences and how have they shaped us. So if I look back to the second half of 2023, where the bottom just fell out of the real estate market in Southwest Florida and everything just stalled. It went from like the faucet was on and it was like a trickle. I didn't make decisions fast enough. The company lost over $50,000 in the second half of 2023 because I was more concerned about trying to keep my team and all that, which is important. But at the same time, if there's no Joe the Home Pro, there's no team members.
Right.
And so I wasn't selfish enough. And so I didn't want to make those hard decisions that I need to make. And I didn't make them fast enough. So that's like a great example of like just learning from past mistakes. I think on top of that, it's having the mentors and business coaches and people around you in your inner circle that can also help you and that can push you. And like Sean, who's one of my best friends, you know, Sean's great at giving me that encouragement when I need it and calling me out on my BS and going, you know, stop.
Right.
This is what needs to happen. Do it now. And I'm like, okay, he's right. Like 98% of the time, the guy's right.
Right.
And it's like, I hate it.
Well, of course.
You got to do it though, right? You got to have those people.
There has to be someone in your life that calls you on things and tells you when, you know, hey, high five. That's a great job. And you're falling flat on your face here, dude. Like why are you having those thoughts? Right? Like I call it, so a lot of people call them mentors. I call them my board of directors. I've talked about this before.
I love that.
Where it's your inner circle, like you say, and it's maybe people that you pay, whether that's an accountant or attorney, and other people that you're friends with that you can use as a mentor who can check you on things and give you advice when you need advice. That's very important to your business.
100%. So I just came off of the TV show The Blocks, and it was funny when I was there, there's 120 entrepreneurs there. The majority of them are in like the 150,000 and less phase.
Dollar amount?
Yeah, dollar amount less phase, right? Like, so they're still in like that startup growth mode, right? The majority. And almost everyone there was like, oh, I've never had anyone like help me. I've never had a coach, or I've never had this mentor. I've never had this. And I'm going, oh my God, this is like absolutely so important. And I look back and they're like, well, what about you? And I'm like, well, for 6 years, I've had a group of 15 plus that are all multi-million-dollar business owners or were and successfully exited who have been able to help me and guide me.
Right.
And without question, I never would have been able to overcome the hurdles and challenges that I have faced in just like really since like my divorce 8 years ago. I never would have been able to overcome some of that stuff between like a divorce, between two massive hurricanes, collapsed economy, this, that, right? There's no way. Yeah, life, right? But thank God I had people that could like lift me up and guide me. There's no way that my licensing division, I would have been trying to franchise it and it would have cost me, I would have been bankrupt. Thank God I had a business coach. I was like, you can't franchise, you got a license. And I was like, thank God for this stuff. Like you need those people.
I'm so glad that you mentioned coach, because a lot of people kind of poo-poo the thought of investing in themselves, really.
Yeah.
Whether they're having a coach or they're joining a mastermind or they're just reading books, right? A lot of people kind of just go, I don't need that. But it's so important. And you are a living testament to, you wouldn't be where you're at today if you didn't allow yourself the help that you needed. And I think, it's like any process, it comes down to acknowledging that I can't do this by myself.
You have to be vulnerable.
That's it.
Right. And I think for me, I'm super honest and transparent with myself, and I'm always vulnerable. I mean, I always joke that I wear my heart on my sleeve. And so everyone knows like if I'm in a good mood or a bad mood or happy or sad or whatever. And that's just how I am. And so I'm like, I don't know everything. So what I've done is I'm okay with saying, I don't know everything. I'm okay with raising my hand. And I don't feel bad or stupid when I'm like, explain this to me. Put myself in rooms where I'm the dumbest person in the room. I love that because I'm only going to learn. And so for me, I just don't have an ego about it, because at the end of the day, what are my goals? What am I trying to accomplish? I'm not going to be able to do that, or it's going to take me twice as long if I cannot be honest with myself and be vulnerable.
That's true.
By the way, I have to tell you this funny story. I don't know if you've ever heard me say this before. Melissa and I's third date, I finally looked at her and I was like, listen, I don't need you to coach me.
Oh
She
my
goes,
gosh.
"Oh,
Because
well, sorry."
so
I go, listen, I actually would like to date you. Like, can we date maybe? And like, you can coach me later on dating or whatever, right? And like, Melissa has like that executive leadership coaching in her, right? Because that's what she does.
This is Joe's girlfriend.
My girlfriend,
for those
right?
of you that don't know.
Yeah. So it's just so funny
Don't
though. But I
coach
was
me.
like, I'd like to date you. I don't
That's
want to
so
be
funny.
coached by you. She goes, I'm sorry, I just can't turn it off. I was like, of course you can. Right. But I mean, this, and I'm saying this jokingly, but it's so true, because Melissa is so good with like the CEOs and vice presidents that she works with. So it really is perfect for me to like, for us to be dating. Because there are times I'm like, hey, I need help with this. Like, what do you think I should do or whatever? And then she puts on her coaching hat and I'm like, okay, that 27 minutes is up now. So put on your girlfriend hat.
I want the other one. But it's so true. And I can tell you from my coaching experience, coaching small business owners, that a lot of times you talk to people, 2 or 3 times. And by the third time they realize, wow, I really do need a coach. I need somebody who can help me walk through this. Yeah.
How many times when you talk to somebody though, they don't realize it until you point out that light bulb idea and they're like, oh, I never, and for you, it's like, this is staring at me right in the face. Like it's right there.
But it's like how we talked about at the very beginning, where people saw your clear path. Yeah. But you didn't see it, or you were blinded by it. You chose not to see it. There were other things preventing you from that. Same thing.
Yeah.
They need a lot of time. 95% of the time, people need to be told what to do. You need to tell them the clear step. This is 1, 2, 3. This is what I think you need to do. Yeah. And that's when the light bulb goes off. Yeah. That's when they're like, whoa, now, how did I not see this?
They also have to be receptive to coaching, because you might have some people like, oh, I don't know this, but then you give them the recommendation like, oh, well, no, that's not going to work because, and it's like, no, that's not how you're going to be. There's not
always that. I can't.
Yeah.
No, let's reframe that.
Exactly. Right.
Now I'm coaching.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right. It's also they have to be receptive to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know a ton of people, a ton of business owners that are really, really green or young, or they need help in certain areas, and they're just not open. They're just like, no, I think I know what's best. And it's like, well, why wouldn't you want to ask this person who's built a multi-million-dollar company? Like, wouldn't you want to, like, they probably know what they're doing, right?
Or it's too much money.
Yeah. Well,
is it too much money to invest in yourself, knowing that you're going to get so much more out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. They, I went to when I was on the blocks, they have like a graduate program. And so I was in Kansas City a couple weeks ago for it. And it was so funny because Wes Bergman, who runs it, he goes, all right, so of course we have like, it's like the last day there. And he was like, of course I'm going to try to sell you something, but here's what we have. And he's like super funny about it, right? We're like, yeah, of course. He goes, all right, we're going to take 10% of your first $1 million and over 2 years, and we're going to coach you, and we're just going to take 10% of it or 15% of it, whatever it was. And it's like, people didn't realize like, oh, so he needs $15,000, but he's like telling you like, hey, we're going to help get you to this $1 million. Right. And I'm like, the number of people are like, oh, that's just way too much money. And I was like, if you have $1 million and you can't afford this 15, we should probably talk about other things. Like,
but it's how we're conditioned perhaps as people to go, whoa, wait a second. Yeah. Success doesn't come free.
No, it doesn't.
In any respect.
It's so important to invest in your company, but also invest in yourself. And I think too, when you start to do that, you start to really realize just either how fast or how slow you actually need to go, because there's times you need to step on the gas, and then there's also times you need to step on the brakes. Right. And I think you have to, like, understanding that, like, that's where I fell into that trap last year, 2023. Right. I didn't realize it fast enough, or I realized it, but I didn't want to admit it. And so to go back, I know, because we're talking about slow and steady growth, I think the challenges of putting your foot on the gas too fast is you don't have the people, processes, systems in place. And so then your service suffers, or your culture and your company suffers. And then when you don't do it fast enough, you're just staying stagnant, and you might miss that window of opportunity that you had to blow up and to really push the needle, whatever that needle is and wherever that may be. So those are big things, I think.
I'm glad you brought up people, processes. When you're scaling, the process is all around your business, and how you do your business is really, really important. And I see a lot of people who want to scale their business, but they don't have processes in place to do so. So an example would be, I don't know your business, but let's say here's the protocol that you need to do when you go out to inspect a home for the first time. Here's your list. Here's your checklist. Here's exactly what you need to do. How important has that been in your business? Because I know in any business that you scale, that kind of has to be there.
Yeah.
Before you can really pour the gas on the fire.
I'm going to try to keep this answer under 1 hour, because this is like
1 hour.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is it's such a passion topic for me, because, people are like, without SOPs, your team has
standard
no playbook.
Operating procedures, processes, however you want to.
Yeah. But without those, your team members have no roadmap to success, and you're going to fail. Let's take it one step further. Let's say you're ready to exit your company. So I've been in talks with a guy for a while to try to buy his home inspection company here in Southwest Florida. Phenomenal, very nice individual, solopreneur. There are no SOPs. There are really no software. There's no this, there's no that. I'm like, what am I really buying?
Right.
So when you go to exit your company, no one wants to buy your job. They want to buy your company.
Amen.
So if you look at the org chart and you're like, how many times is your name on your org chart? And if it's on there more than like once as CEO, then that's a problem. So the procedures, processes, systems, absolutely imperative for everything that we do. It was probably like 6-8 months ago. I sat down with my operations manager, and we use a platform called Trainual. It's not cheap, but it's a really good platform, and you can integrate it with there's another system called Loom where you can record videos and all these things. So what we did is we had a company here locally record each and every process of, here's the Joe the Home Pro way of how you inspect a home. And so now when we bring on a new inspector, they will go into Trainual, and they have different modules. After each of those modules are questions they have to answer, and that's part of their onboarding. In addition to that, the question that I told Sarah, my operations manager, I go, this is what you have to answer. If you go out tomorrow and you win a $50 million lottery and you're like, peace out, Joe the Home Pro, which by the way, I would too. I'm just saying, if someone else comes in your chair on a Wednesday morning, could they sit down and do your job? And so the key is not even just having the systems and processes in place. It's also about getting down into the minutia, as being as detail oriented as you possibly can be about that. So no matter what happens, everyone knows here is the playbook. And it's really not just, it's an internal playbook. It's also a playbook for success. And we have shared this now with our licensees as we're growing and scaling. And we have this in our licensee portal of like, here's an example of what to do. Here's an employee handbook, by the way. Here's this. Here's how you inspect a home in Southwest Florida. Here's how we do this. Here's how you do your billing, et cetera, et cetera. And so we're laying out all these things. And all it's doing is it's making our company, which is only 5 people, make it seem like it's 50 people because of how big we are. And it's only adding value to what we're doing.
Absolutely, it is. On the back end and day to day.
100%.
Right? It's Joe the Home Pro in a box.
Yeah. And that's what our licensing. Yeah. I'm in a box. I know. No, I'm in a glass case of emotion. I mean, that's a good Anchorman reference. But no, for me though, and for us, like our licensing program is exactly that. It's like someone's like, oh, are you teaching them how to inspect a home? I was like, no, there's companies and training. That's not my thing, because inspecting a home in Cleveland, Ohio is way different than Naples, Florida. But what we are going to do is, home inspectors are not great inherently, generally speaking, broad stroke here, not trying to offend anyone, but they're not great at business operations. They don't know how to run the company.
Oh, that was the wrong button. Wrong one. Darn, I was looking for the want button. Yeah.
That was magical. We're in Disney now.
I learned the soundboard. Apparently I didn't.
Apparently not.
There needs
to be label them. This is part of your SOPs. Label your soundboard.
I was trying to do not the crickets either. Oh, jeez. Okay. I'll stop pressing the buttons.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But I mean, that really is like we want to teach people how to run their company. So whether they want to just be a solopreneur and make 150 or 200,000, that's awesome. You do that. Or if you want to grow and scale and add inspectors and get past that 7-figure mark, here's a way to do that too. And so that's really what the licensing division is we're going to give you the roadmap of success of here's everything that I did in order to get to where I am. And here's what you can do if you so choose to.
So it's like franchising, but it's not franchising because
Correct.
You're giving them all the tools saying, here's Joe, the home pro in a box. You go and do what you do, but still stay within these parameters.
What's amazing
when we're talking about licensing.
Yeah. What the biggest difference between licensing and franchising is that the licensee can run the company however they want. There's no mandate. So in other words, if I use QuickBooks to do all of our invoicing,
I see.
The licensee can use ABC.
Anything they want. Okay.
Yeah, whatever they want to do.
And if it was franchised, it has to be followed exactly. Now, do you still have to give them support? Do you still give them support as a licensee?
Oh, thank you so much for asking this question, because one of the things I'm really proud of, because I came from that franchising world in the hotel industry.
Sure.
And I was on both sides of it, corporate office as well as the franchisee. And what I have done is I've been able to implement a franchise model with licensing pricing. So in other words, we have the support like you would get on a franchise, but you're doing it for 1/10 of the price.
I see.
On the licensing division. The idea is to take away the barrier to entry
for
home inspectors. How do I charge somebody $50,000 on a home inspection franchise when it cost me $10,000 to start mine?
I see.
And 50 to 60% of your franchise fee goes to the franchise broker anyway. That's fine. That's just not my thing. So here's an idea. We're going to charge you $5,000. And then after 60 days, we're just going to charge you $1,000 a month. That's it. Instead
of doing like a royalty.
Yep. Like here's your digital fee, your tech fee, your marketing fee, your this fee.
I see.
Next thing you know, you're at 10, 12, 14% a month.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, how about your first like 2 to 3 inspections? They just come back to us for the coaching and so forth that we're providing. And then you keep all the rest. Like that's it. For 5 years, all you pay is $12,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow.
Like, all the rest is yours. So if you're bringing in $150K, you're like, this is great. I just kept $138,000.
It makes it absolutely simple.
Yeah. And that was my whole point of doing it, because if you're a or licensee rather, and as the licensor company, the last thing I want to do is be like, oh, let me wait and get someone's financials because they can use whatever they want. Let me calculate this. Then let me send them a bill. Then it's like you're 3 weeks in. Screw that.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Have your credit card on file. On the first of the month, we hit it for $1,000 after 60 days. So you pay your license fee, which we do owner financing on. So, I don't have $5,000. Cool. Couple options. Here's 2 banks of friends of mine that work at these banks. They offer 0%, 18 months on a credit card. You can put it on there, whatever you need to do. Or you can do it through us. We'll do a like almost 0% interest, basically. We'll spread it out over 12 months. And then after 60 days, you start paying. So even if they give us the full $5,000, we're still like, hey, you just gave us a bunch of money. We're good. Get your feet out from underneath you. And in 60 days, then you can start to pay.
It's so great because it's a hybrid.
Yeah.
An innovative hybrid model, because it's not completely one or not completely the other. It's not completely franchising, not completely the licensing portion of it. You're melding the two.
I am determined to disrupt this archaic industry because it's so archaic.
And, historically, that's where money's made, is when you disrupt an industry that is very antiquated.
And I know I'm doing something right because there's a lot of haters on me right now. And I love it. I just love it. It's
turn those into lovers.
Oh, there is a certain age demographic that is on the upper echelon that just is like, what is this guy doing? Like, I don't understand. And it's like, good, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, because you're disrupting it.
Exactly.
And making them, when you change something, people automatically are like, whoa, wait a second. And, they don't want to be left behind, but yet a lot of them want to just be stuck where they're at.
Right.
I don't want to change. This is how I've been doing it.
100%. The very first thing I realized when I started my home inspection company is how little support there is out there for new inspectors. You have to figure it out on your own, which, by the way, is super costly and it takes a lot of time. And so what we want to do is we want to say, hey, let's hold your hand a little bit. We're going to help you with this. We're going to show you how to do things. You ultimately are responsible for your own success, but we want to help you. The other thing that we're passionate about is we want to put 200 veterans to work.
I love that.
How can anyone sit there and say, screw you for
Right.
disrupting? Like, I'm putting veterans to work. Like,
Right.
that's my goal.
That's
Like,
amazing.
if I could hang my head on anything, it's that I was an awesome dad
Mhm.
and that I helped put 200 veterans
Yeah.
to work. Like, I'd be a happy man with that, right? And so, again, the whole idea with licensing is let's make it easier for people. Let's take away the hurdles.
Mhm.
Let's make it affordable for them too. Then let's give them the tools and resources to be successful. And then let's get out of their way.
Right.
And so it's really cool. So, and the other thing that it does too, Jennifer, is that it's going to allow people on my current team to move up. So it's not just like you're stagnant in
Right.
Joe the Home Pro in Southwest Florida or in Tampa or Orlando, whatever
Mhm.
it might be. I now have ways to move people up the ranks if they so choose to. So my operations manager is going to be our VP of client services for the licensees. So she's going
Love
to be
it.
like their go-to person, right?
Mhm.
My lead home inspector is going to be our director of education. So he's going to lead one of the training classes on, we do every Monday was training Monday. He leads one of them. So those types of things. And then as we continue to grow and scale, it'll be like, okay, I need an area director here. I need an area
Mhm.
director here. Let's just make sure that we're giving people
I love it.
the resources. So that's kind of like, in a nutshell.
That's
But
awesome.
again, slow and steady on all
Yes,
of it
I
because
know.
I wanted to make sure I had everything in place, because the licensing division, I did take more time with than probably I maybe should have, but I feel so much better that I know that when our first licensee came on in Lynchburg, Virginia, we were ready for him. It was
Mhm.
like, okay, we're going to have very few hiccups with this guy because we have really vetted everything out. When it comes to locally, what I should have done, should have just started. Go, get going. We'll figure it out. This is too big because now you're talking about someone else's business in a different part of the country. And I just really wanted to make sure that was set in stone and ready to go.
Done right.
Yeah.
Done right.
I
for
just
sure.
by the way, I just saw the movie last night, Blackberry.
Oh, I've not.
Oh my gosh. Unbelievable.
Is it about the BlackBerry?
It's about the
Oh my
BlackBerry, about the
gosh.
guys that started. And just really quick, because he brought this up, everyone was pressuring him to send all his manufacturing over to China. And he goes, no, when I do that, it doesn't come back right. They skip
Mhm.
steps, etc. Sure enough, BlackBerry gets gigantic and he gets convinced by his COO, we got to go to China to fulfill this production. They do it. Everything was wrong. Verizon sued him for $500 million.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And what happens? The company obviously
Right.
implodes and so on and so forth. It's a great example of doing things right. And they had it done
Mhm.
right the first
Right.
time.
They did.
And he had that company culture and he had that mindset.
Mhm.
And then it was the corporate greed took over.
Right.
Again, why growing and scaling? And these companies, I'm guarantee you, this is what happens with a lot
Yeah.
of them. They see number of team members,
Mhm.
dollar signs of revenue, bigger service area. It makes us look larger. We can exit at some point. And they're like, oh yeah, the service side, it's in there somewhere, but they lose company culture. They
Mhm.
lose everything that they were built on, that
Right.
foundation. And that's why I am determined not to lose that foundation.
I love that. I read a book about the guy that started Grubhub.
Oh yeah.
That was also a very good book about not losing your company culture and making sure that you sustain it and everything. And it's very true.
Every
very
company
true.
has a culture.
Mhm.
Some are good and some are bad, but there is a culture there.
Mhm.
And I think my 20 years in the hospitality industry set me up perfectly for what I'm doing,
Of
because
course it did.
the hospitality industry is riddled with horrendous culture.
Mhm.
Horrendous culture. And so I even look at like the place I last worked at. I mean, I was there almost 8 years. I got a certified letter in the mail from them
Oh, goodness.
saying, your position's been eliminated. Thank you. And I'm like, 8 years, I'm the highest paid team member.
Right.
Like, this is how, like, no text, no email,
Mhm.
no phone, right? So I'm just saying, like, that's one example. I am determined to be like, okay, let's do extra stuff for our team members. You keep your team members, like, keep them happy, take care of them. They're going to stay longer, treat your customers better. This is that company culture. And then that culture internally will also rub off externally to your clients, and they see it.
Absolutely. It all starts with your team.
Yes. And so that's why that slow and steady approach, like we've been talking about, in my mind, there's nothing better than it. It's just the difference is understanding when to put the foot on the gas, which is the
Mhm.
thing that I've had the biggest challenge with in the past. Not anymore, because I'm like, right? I'm not,
Right?
no one look at me. I'm going very fast.
I'm in my lane and I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
I'm in the left lane.
Joe, I have so loved our conversation today. I know we were all over the place.
I know. I'm sorry about
It's
that.
okay, but
my
this is how
ADD.
it works when we get together. It's everything but the kitchen sink.
You're the
It's-
best. Thanks for
it's
having me.
like
Thanks for all
always.
you're doing, by the way, for small business owners.
Absolutely.
Thanks for all you're doing in Southwest Florida. You are just a pillar and a steward of everything that
thank you.
Southwest Florida is about. So thank you so much.
And thank you so much, Joe. If our listeners want to get in touch with you, how can they do so?
No, I'm pretty busy. No time.
See, I knew the no was going to come in here somewhere. We were joking before we came on this podcast. He's like, what if I just answer no to one of your questions?
Yeah, totally kidding.
That's why I'd be searching. That's why I was trying out the buttons before to see if I could do the wah, wah, wah. And obviously I can't find the button. So
you found all of them but that one.
Yeah.
JoeTheHomePro.com is our website. All of our social channels are Joe the Home Pro. Our YouTube is Joe the Home Pro. LinkedIn. So anything on social, find us,
Fabulous.
Connect with us, and we'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
And thank you to all my listeners.